Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hobby Lodge. It is of course another Saturday has come and gone, and it is time for a Hit Squads update. In this one I'm going to take you from 67 to 72, so another 5 is the tradition that we do every week. We do another 5 tapes as I've picked them up, but as you know, the collection is growing very rapidly, so these videos do lag behind where my actual collection is at, but we are still going for that full set collection and we are extremely close to completing it. But there's always going to be those 1 or 2 out there that are going to be extremely hard to get. So let's jump into the first 5 that I'm going to show you this week. And as usual, I'll stick a bit of footage up of I've been testing and playing the games myself. And the first one is called Mikey. So this is from the arcade collection. It is number 14 from the arcade collection. The objective of this game here is to avoid teachers, avoid people around your school, collect love hearts so that you can send your girlfriend a message, and it's actually quite a fun little game. I quite enjoyed playing it, especially in the first room where you're in the classroom and you're trying to dodge your teacher, who for some reason throws false teeth at you. I thought it might be a board rub or something, but no, he throws a set of chattering teeth at you to try and hit you. You're bumping people off of their seats to sit where they're sat to grab the love heart that's underneath the desk so that you can create your message, and then you try and escape the classroom, get into the next room, and then repeat the process, but slightly different each time. So yeah, really good fun little arcade game, great little graphics. I mean, everything about it's nice. It's just a good arcade conversion. I never played this in the arcade, so yeah, firing it up on the Commodore, I'm really happy. It's a nice little game, and I will definitely go back to it again. So that is, yeah, Mikey on the Commodore 64 Hit Squads, number 14 in the arcade collection. Nice little game. Next up, we will go with, I mean, it's a classic. Some people love it. I think most people love it actually, but I know on other systems people prefer it as well. So it is number 21 in the movie collection, and it is nothing other than RoboCop. There we go. It just, for me, is a fun. I mean, I don't very rarely make it past the first level or the one where you have to shoot the guy holding the lady hostage. But even as just a jump in and play first quick game, it's great. It's great, right? There's nothing wrong with it at all. I have seen it on the Spectrum. I know a lot of people do love it on the Spectrum, and I will give it its due. I quite like the chunky graphics and the clarity on the Spectrum version compared to this version, but I can't complain. It's a great little game. It plays exactly how you expect. I love getting the weapon power up so you can shoot in angles, yeah, it's a cracking little game. So yeah, RoboCop on the Commodore 64 movies collection, number 21. It's got to go in there. It's a great little hit squad. So yeah, RoboCop. Right, well, from one little robot to, well, not little robot, I mean, he's a big robot. Okay, but to maybe a lesser powerful robot, maybe to RoboCop, and that is this next one, which is Shortcut. Oh dear, it's Short Circuit, you idiots. Johnny 5 is alive. It is number 4 in the movies collection, and yeah, I didn't get very far with this one, guys, I have to admit. I'd love to know what anyone else thinks. You're essentially trying to, I guess it's a puzzle game, I guess, because ultimately you're trying to find your way out. A bit, not quite like a click and point adventure, a point and click adventure, one of those ways around. But it is an investigational game and trying to progress throughout the level as you go by finding items to use items. When you start the game, if you immediately go out to the left, you're caught by a soldier immediately, and that's game over. But if you go to the right, you can start investigating areas of the level, finding items such as passcodes and pieces of equipment that you need to get your own abilities back. So you've got things like a jump mechanic that you can't use until you find the piece to fix your jump mechanic, and the laser and so on and so forth. But yeah, I stuck with it for a bit. I tried playing it through, and I just found it just not that enjoyable to play. Yeah, bit clunky. So yeah, but it is needed. It's a hit squad. It's got to go into the collection. I don't know if anyone else knows this, but I need to look into it a little bit. It is a different kind of shade of blue. Now, I don't know if that's because it's ever so slightly faded. So this may be one that I look to upgrade in the future. But it's just a slightly different color blue, maybe to the others. But yeah, Shortcut, number 4 in the movies. Next up, we have a sports game. It's not the hard one to find in the sports game. This one's a bit easier, but there are 2 baseball games in the hit squads, and this is the more common one. It is number 4 in the sports series, and it is World Series Baseball. Yeah, there we go, number 4. And it just works. Not much I can really say about it. This is one of those games that, even if you don't play baseball or have any interest in baseball, you can just have a quick blast on the game. It's actually quite fun to play. I'd love to give it a go 2-player, because having the batting and the fielding going on, I think between 2 players is better than playing against a computer. So I think this is one that was definitely made for 2 players, but it works great. Music in it's really nice. It's got the the American national anthem. It's got cheerleaders that come on every now and then in between the innings. You've got batting mechanics, which is fairly sort of just based on timing. You can, obviously pitch and catch and trying to steal bases and capture people as they're trying to steal bases. It works pretty fine. It looks nice on the screen. It's very zoomed out, so you can see the whole of the the field that you're playing in. And it just plays fine. It's no complaints at all, really. As baseball games go, it's a nice little baseball game. So yeah, can't really have any complaints. I would definitely play it again, but I'd love to give it a go in 2-player. So yeah, that is World Series Baseball, number 4, I believe I said. Yeah, number 4 in the sports section. And yeah, great. I'd love to see how the much more difficult and much more expensive one plays up against it. Is the cheap one the better one? Who knows? Last up is, as I always say, I do like to try and keep at least 1 big hitter per video, because they are becoming, well, some of them are very rare and very expensive. This one kind of sits in the middle of the table. It is semi-rare. In fact, it's one of the ones I haven't seen pop up for a very long time. Well, I've only been doing this for a few months, but I hadn't seen it, and when it did pop up, I reached out to the person selling it and offered them some buy it now money, rather than waiting for auctions to end. Told them that I wasn't a reseller, that I was going for the full set collection, and they very nicely gave it to me for a bit below the market value. So yeah, really happy with that. And it is Narc. Cool looking cover on it, and it is the arcades number 53. But yeah, it looks super cool. And the game itself, crikey, this is a big loader. There is a lot of tape on this tape, but the game itself is just run and gun fun. I'm not quite sure what the entire point is, apart from taking out drug lords and sort of, you pushers and all the gang members, but all I did in the game was just run through hordes of people, shooting everybody in sight, causing mayhem. So yeah, for me it was good fun, high score, more guns, shoot as many things as you can, go from level to level, doing as much carnage as possible, and it works just great. Music's good in it again, action's good, the controls are good, no issues at all. I enjoyed playing it. So yeah, probably one I would probably look at playing on disc or cartridge, just because it is a significant load. It's a multi-load game, and those are always a bit more difficult to sell on the Commodore, because loading between levels is that's why they brought out things like the disc system and the cartridge system. But yeah, it is a hard one to find. It's not easy, and it is a more pricier game, but it has to go in the collection, so it is in there. Yeah, so there we go. So that is the 5 for this week. We had Short Circuit, RoboCop, Mikey, and World Series Baseball, and we finished off with Narc. So I think that takes us up to 72 of the ones that I've reviewed. We've still got another 50 to go, I believe. Yeah, 72 to 122. 50 tapes to go, of which some of them are around this room. You may spot them if you're sly-eyed. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed these updates. If there's anything more you'd like to see about these as I go, then let me know. But certainly, as and when I do finish the collection, I'm then going to revisit it and do lots of content on it, sort of favorite games from the collection, maybe the top 10, maybe certain genres we can look at, certain publishers and so on and so forth, so or developers, it were. So yeah, there's lots of content to come on this whole collection, but first mission is to get that full set, and we are well on our way. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye.